there anything else in the world that maybe keeps you up at night or that you think about? I guess we're talking less about Russia, Ukraine now because of the Middle East. Is it, elections in Europe? Is it the economy? Is it tariffs? Is there anything else that you try to get people to pay attention to?
Every time I get an opportunity to tell people what I'm focused on, I tell people I'm focused on Europe. Because Europe is one of the few places in the world where you have a concentration of multiple independent countries that have to cooperate for their own economic and military welfare. And they're not. It's still undecided if they'll find a way to cooperate or not, or whether they're going to break into even further, sub-compacted groups. But the idea of NATO is struggling, the UN is struggling, like international law and international justice, all of these things they're rocky right now. People are just selectively choosing to disregard, right? The International Criminal Court puts warrants on the arrest for both Putin and Netanyahu, and both Putin and Netanyahu still travel to UN countries and get passes, right? Yeah. So what does it all mean? Are we actually upholding the justice and the law and the promises that we make to each other, or are treaties just empty? And that's really what we're seeing across Europe. The United States has always been its own beast. And the United States 100% is falling victim to celebrity politics right now. It's been falling victim to celebrity politics since Barack Obama, right? Barack Obama was elected because of popularity, because of celebrity, right? And then Trump came in because of celebrity. And then Biden came in off of Obama's celebrity. And now Trump's back in again. I don't see celebrity politics changing in the U.S. anytime soon. You were just talking about Marco Rubio, right? That's all celebrity. Yeah. That's all. He's just trying to gain more. Yeah. So our age of the professional politician has passed, and our age of the statesman has long passed. So who the fuck knows what's coming up next for the United States? But Europe is still at a place where it gets to decide. It's still dissolving parliaments and revoting politics and trying to bring prime ministers in that are proper and appropriate. But is it going to fall victim to celebrity politics too? Because right now a lot of politicians in Europe are essentially choosing pro-Trump or anti-Trump as their platform. Yeah. Well, if all you're going to do is make your country pro or counter America's populist ideas, that's not independence at all. So I'm keeping an eye on Europe because Europe is really going to set the temperature.
How do you get out of a rat race? How do you create wealth not only for yourself, but also for the generations to come after?
I am absolutely amazed with the quality of companies that we're getting exposure to.
We go on to Zoom calls with the innovators and the folks who are building new applications in metaverse, blockchain, artificial intelligence, decentralized finance.
What's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me.
We are focusing on early stage investment.
And the quality of people that we're getting exposure to, whether it be Dan Tapiero with 1RT, Jason Ma from Open, Yatsu from Animoca.
It's been a phenomenal experience thus far. It has far exceeded my expectations.
We are focusing on cutting edge technologies.
I view it now as the best investment I've ever made. The upside I view is unlimited.
And as a retail investor, I would never get this exposure anywhere else outside of Investment Club.
See you in the Investment Club.
For whether democracy has a place in the future or whether it really is a thing of the past.
Do you think this inherent socialism that Europe is founded on, that actually a lot of people don't know until you visit here and you start seeing it everywhere? And look, the UK is somewhere in between, the US and here, but the UK definitely has these socialist tendencies, just from the attitudes of people. Yeah. But you go into Europe and it really is this old socialist
sometimes.
State. And I just see that, and I see these kind of broken, somewhat bankrupt, classical democracies that hold their head up high with this pride, but when you dig down, it's just a mess underneath it, from the health services to the public transport to the everything. Does it have a chance of turning that around?
It's a good question. And when you walk through certain streets in Portugal and Italy and Spain, you definitely feel like there's no hope here, right? When you can literally see the lack of ambition in people's faces. You can see the hopelessness in their face, because they know, I was born and I'm going to die and I'm going to work in between, and that's all there is to it. And I'm going to pay 45% taxes along the way. Like, that's just life, right? You can see by the lack of billionaires, you can see by the lack of innovation, you can see by all of these things that socialism has taken root in many, many cultural elements across the democracies of Europe. It can always change. It can always change because it's really just a matter of policy and a matter of meritocracy for the few that make a substantial impact. But when you can't inspire a child to innovate because you tell them from the beginning, you're a cog in a wheel, and the best you can be for your country is to be that cog in the wheel. It's very hard to innovate and excite those people. But there's always outliers.
Right.
So it's going to take an outlier to allow the other outliers to blossom. But there's still more hope there, I would say, for them to turn around their democracies than the direction the United States is going right now with their heavy bipolar populist attitudes. I mean, we're going to have to essentially forget about 30 years of history in the United States to get back to a proper democracy.
It's wild times. It's interesting, just to finish this off, I go from here and to Dubai. And Dubai's a wild place because it attracts people who are there to do something.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you can't even come there unless you're going to do something.
Right.
And so the energy is just completely different. And I always describe this to people when I'm in London, central London. And again, look, London isn't France. It's not the US, but it's more capitalistic than Europe. You look around and 2/3 of the people here are, like you said, just blank-faced. They're phoning in, they're walking around, they're collecting a check in one way or the other, from a government or from a job they don't really care about. They're not even really engaged. And you just see this kind of a zombie factor. Whereas when I go to Dubai, everyone is there is hustling, and everyone there has the energy, and everybody wants to change something. And
unless
if you
they're
are
Emirati.
Yeah, unless you're Emirati. Although the highest levels of Emirati, they got a fire under their butts too. But yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe that could be changing, but maybe. And it's refreshing to be around if you're one of those people, and you're around people like, wow, these things are happening. These people are going. And I remember I got back to London recently, and I was like, wow, there's an old person. There's no old people in Dubai, at least tourists. There's just no old people. There's no handicapped people. I mean, there's some, but not really. There's nobody that moves slow there. And the Sheikh Maktoum has an expression. He says, when you wake up in the morning, whether you're a lion or whether you're a gazelle, you run. And so everybody wakes up and runs. And it's a great vibe to be around, and they innovate like crazy, and they built something amazing. But that's not here, and it's maybe never going to be here.
It is. It's interesting because the idea that individuals can succeed independently in many ways is a stark contrast to democracy. So how do we have to choose which side we want to support. Do you want to support the individual who could independently become wealthy and create a company and create jobs and change the future? Because if you support that person, then you don't really want equality for everyone. You don't really want equal opportunity. You don't really want to take this person's resources and feed it across the group, because all you're doing is slowing this person down. And if you do want to do all of this, then you're not going to be breeding people like this. And the world is finally waking up to the fact that we have to choose. I think 20 years ago, we thought we could have both because there was a lack of insight into the other's plight. But now that we have so much information, now that you can literally watch a far left and a far right podcast back to back in 2 45-minute segments on YouTube, you can hear what they both truly believe in, and you can see that there's not a lot of middle ground there. You look at the United States, you got LA is a visionary capital, New York is a visionary capital, and everything in between is just trying to feed off of their success. Well, that's democracy, but that also prevents breakout success, and breakout success is what you need if you're going to be ready for the future.
And those two groups are going to get more polarized, you believe, over the next 10, 20 years?
Oh, for sure. Because it's going to continue to be this doubling down on our way is the right way and you're evil. And the opposite side saying the same argument. And that's not an argument. That's just messaging.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.